Stash here. Come to make a short video about how to take care of your first dubia roaches. First thing you're going to need is an 18-gallon tub. Next thing you're going to need is a lid for that tub. And it's important that you cut two long holes in the lid, 1.5 on the warm side and then 3.5 inches on the cold side. Now when I say warm side, I mean on the warm side or the small end of the box, you're going to aluminum tape and duct tape a 12 by 12 flex watt heat tape, which you are then going to plug into an outlet such as a wall. It's going to stay at around 100 degrees, which is good. Roaches love it warm. But you're also going to need ventilation, and that's where these holes come in. What I did was hot glue the wire mesh, like from a window, on each side underneath. Like, while it's true that adults cannot climb smooth surfaces like glass or plastic, nymphs more or less still can, which is why all around the edge you're going to make an invisible layer of packaging tape. It's going to stop them in their tracks. They cannot climb over that thing whatsoever. Again, you're going to want the smaller rectangle on the warm side, as well as 8 crates. Now, as you can see, these are hot glued together. This is going to create them more surface area for them to crawl around and more places for them to hide and just, chill out. Maybe have a beer. Now we're going to talk about humidity. A lot of people like to use water dishes. I like to use water crystals. It prevents drowning and, more importantly, creates proper humidity within the terrarium. While the floor is bare, you can litter it with roach chow. Or if you can't afford roach chow, for the time being, just use crushed up Cheerios, because of their very, very low, if at all absent, protein content. And I'm going to explain that later on. Also a must, once a week you're going to offer them orange slices. It's kind of like an aphrodisiac for them. Now, I've heard some people throw in dog food and cat food with a high protein makeup in there for the roaches to eat. I admit that I've done that once in the past, just for a while, just to see what would happen, because I heard that it gut loads them faster and that you just fatten them up more, and boy was I wrong. What happens is dubias can actually synthesize protein themselves, and if you feed them more protein, eventually it's just going to cause a buildup of uric acid, and that is very bad if you feed them to your beardies or your turtles or whatever you're going to feed them to, because whatever you feed your roaches is eventually going to end up in the bellies of your animals. Now, it's very, very important that you let your roaches acclimate to their new surroundings at least a month or two. Now, you can check on them once a week, but only once a week. And also, don't immediately start feeding any excess adults or any excess roaches to your animals. Keep in mind that it takes 4 months for a nymph to reach full maturity to an adult. Till then, you want to keep feeding your animals mealworms or superworms or crickets, unfortunately. Now, when it comes to nutrition, roaches are much better choice than crickets. The only downside is that you got to buy them at expos or other places, and they're generally expensive. But the pros greatly outweigh the cons in that they don't stink, especially when they're dead. They live for about 2 years. You can feed them, assortment of veggies, no fruits, and again, no dog food or cat food. They love to live in clustered colonies, so, that's where the 8 crates come in. They love to cluster together because of safety in numbers. And once you've had your colony build up, or somewhat build up, you can throw in maybe a couple of good-sized animal or good-sized roaches, depending on, the size of what you have. You have baby geckos, you have baby beardies, you got large turtles, because box turtles love to eat these things. And it always helps to have a backup colony. You just never know. Ooh, and upkeep is the best part. You only have to clean the tub like maybe once a year. That's how awesome it is. And of course, it helps to have a cleaning crew, preferably in the form of 2 very special species of beetles that clean up the roach crap and a lot of the extra food that roaches forget to eat, and even dead roaches, but probably in a different video at a later date. Again, you don't want to disturb your new roach colony every single day. Like I said, check in once a week. That means you gotta, well, as far as the orange slices goes, put them in there 1 week, take it out, and then give them fresh fruits. Mold and bacteria is the #1 killer of dubia roach colonies. A single plague can wipe them out. That's why the crystals are there to provide proper humidity, not only for hydration, but for proper humidity, because you don't want it too moist, because that's a recipe for disaster. Anyway, that's my video. If you have any questions or want to leave a comment, please feel free to do so or shoot me a text. Have a good day.